Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Kohn. Janelle has the night off. 1 year ago today, Broadwater County Sheriff Deputy Mason Moore was killed in the line of duty near Three Forks, Montana. Now, since that fateful day, Moore's wife Jody and their 3 children have been working through what most of us can't even imagine: the loss of a father and a husband. Part of Jody Moore's work today includes becoming a guardian for men and women who wear the badge. MTN's Dennis Carlson is on special assignment tonight to bring us more on how she's honoring her husband's memory.
Just trying to continue to put one foot in front of the other. Just trying to be positive, even though sometimes it's really hard.
It was a year ago when Jody Moore saw her husband for the last time.
Leaving the house for the last time and seeing him for the last time and kissing him, and so in some ways that seems like it was just the other day, but in some ways it feels like it's been a really long time since I've seen him.
A year later, Jody and her children are still learning to live without Mason.
We're still trying to figure out, you know, the impact and how our life is different now, and trying to figure things out. So obviously we're missing a member of our family, and so that's really hard, but at the same time we've always been really good about being a team and working together, and so we're just trying to continue to focus on being a team and loving on each other and supporting each other and talking to each other, and again, just trying to do the things that he would want us to do.
A year to struggle with unanswered questions.
I haven't stopped having faith or stopped believing in God, but I'm angry, and it's hard. It's really hard. I'm struggling with the why and the why him.
Since Mason's death, Jody has found a way to continue her husband's work. She's established the Mason Moore Foundation, creating grants to pay for equipment law officers might not be able to afford.
I wanted to always protect my husband. I think that's a natural thing to want to protect your husband, and I can't do that anymore. So I feel like I need to help protect those that are still out there doing that job, and just try to do what I can to help them get home to their families.
The foundation also helps to keep Mason's memory alive.
Even though those individuals were successful in taking Mason away from us, it's important that the work that he has done continues to live on. It's important that in this story, that the story is about Mason and not about what took his life, but it's about what he did while he was here and how he impacted this place and this world.
Despite a year of unimaginable loss and pain, when you ask Jody about her husband, it's easy to see where her heart is. As
a goofy, funny, loving, you know, amazing guy that cared for everybody. I mean, he just had such a big heart.
Precious memories and Mason's final words in a letter he left Jody are what keep her going.
Love wins.
In Three Forks, Dennis Carlson, MTN News.
Thank you, Dennis. So far, the Mason Moore Foundation has raised more than $40,000, and Jody says she hopes to begin the grant application process this summer. A police officer assigned to an Illinois high school sprang into action today to confront an active shooter. It happened as seniors were practicing for their upcoming graduation ceremony. Shots rang out near the gym, with students and teachers running from the scene. School resource officer Mark Dallas confronted the gunman. The 19-year-old suspect shot at the officer, and the officer returned fire, hitting the teen. The man, identified only as a former student, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Fortunately, no one else in the incident was hurt. Graduation, of course, is a testament to hard work, perseverance, hope, and a good attitude. That was part of the message at tonight's Adult Education Commencement Ceremony. Billings Adult Education graduates went through tonight's ceremony at the Lincoln Center Auditorium. Nearly 200 graduating throughout this school year. Many of the students have overcome extra challenges in order to realize this accomplishment.
I can't describe it. It's been a long road, but if I had to, it'd be wow, I'm actually here.
I wanted to have my son see that I can do this and that he can do the same and get through it no matter how difficult it is.
I learn more from them than I can ever hope to share with them. The smile that they have, that aha moment when all of a sudden they get something, that's important. I really admire that perseverance in coming back and completing something.
Noreen Peterson, by the way, started teaching English for adult education in 1974, and she's retiring now after 44 years. Congratulations, Noreen. If you plan to attend high school graduation ceremonies at Metro Park this spring, be prepared for some additional security. This enhanced security, a partnership between Metro Park and Billings Public Schools. While graduates, band members, and staff will be entering through the lower level doors, those attending the ceremonies will have to pass through a bag check and handheld metal detectors before entering the arena. No large bags, backpacks, or purses will be allowed in. And a reminder that all weapons are prohibited at Metro Park. Some of the other items banned from the arena include any outside food and beverages, bullhorns, confetti, beach balls, and non-service animals. Graduations for Billings High Schools set this year for May 27th. The man who developed the Magic City's largest home is now accused of faking his own abduction in the state of Virginia. Apparently, an abduction to disappear with his mistress. This case started with a call from Larry Price's wife, who first reported him missing. But just 18 hours later, Price was found walking alongside a rural road in Virginia. Initially, he told investigators he was kidnapped by two members of a biker gang who he promised to help transport methamphetamine by train. He told officers he'd been thrown into a van, drugged, held at gunpoint, and robbed at his bike shop. But surveillance video showed no evidence of any such disturbance. A woman eventually admitted to police she and Price were involved romantically and were going to meet up at a home not far from where Price was found. Now, according to the indictment, Price told detectives that he's in debt. The court documents filed here in Yellowstone County, in fact, indicate Price defaulted on his loan for over $11 million. The home, located in the Ironwood subdivision, is valued at $10.3 million, but on Monday of this week it went on the market for a starting price of $17 million. This mansion includes a bowling alley, a shooting range, and a movie theater, but it's never been occupied. Price is currently being held on a $500,000 bond. Turning our attention now to the weather scene, we're looking at some storms possibly moving through our region, but in New England this week, Bob, it was storm central.
Yeah, we had a few strong storms here in the Billings area tonight, but it was severe thunderstorms from Maine all the way to Connecticut. Take a look at some of these pictures. They had large hail out there as well. They had baseball-size hail. Also, they had some severe thunderstorms in that whole area. Winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour. It caused a lot of damage. Look at the car. In that particular car, a young child was killed when a tree fell on it and crushed that car. So that's the kind of problems they had in New England. It was a mess last night, and it looks like they'll continue to see more severe thunderstorms moving into that area probably in another night or so. But in the meantime, for us, we're looking at a chance for some more heavier rain moving in tomorrow night. We'll chat more about that in a few more minutes. Jay?
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Well, a Roundup teenager was honored today for precautions she took that likely saved her life this past winter. Q2's Samantha Harrelson brings us her story tonight.
Really, it was just a normal day, and I was getting ready to head for an orthodontist appointment. It was windy that day. I was aware of the wind and the road conditions mostly, and as I came around a corner, I saw the snow drift unexpectedly.
Sarah hit her brakes and lost control of the vehicle. She tried to correct herself, but the car passed over the center line. She was hit by a truck driving in the opposite direction.
That's probably the worst crash I've seen with the aftermath of a crash. That's probably the worst one I've been on, so I was pretty sure that somebody was dead in there.
Despite the way the crash looked, Sarah was okay and was transported to the hospital with relatively minor injuries.
When they took her in for CAT scans and for x-rays, they really expected to see a lot more broken or fractured bones, but she only had the separated AC joint and the scrapes and abrasions and the glass, and so that was it. Amazingly, I believe because she was buckled up.
That is a belief shared by law enforcement and first responders on the scene that day. On Wednesday, those same people awarded Sarah the Saved by the Belt Award for her use of the seatbelt that likely saved her life.
Every day you should wear. I don't care if you're going half a block to the store. You know, there could be someone at an intersection that just isn't paying attention. So that's really important. Really thankful, and every day I am so blessed and so happy and so overwhelmed with love and joy that I'm still here today, because I really couldn't imagine if that would have been my last day.
In Roundup, Samantha Harrelson, MTN News.
Thank you, Samantha. Sammy tells us, by the way, the driver of the other vehicle involved in that crash also was able to walk away with only minor injuries. He, too, was buckled in. Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, from the ashes, this tractor company is tilling its way into a brighter future. In a moment, we'll head up to Havre for the story. And in sports, a little history of tonight's Athlete of the Year banquet in Billings. Scott fills us in on tonight's winner.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Kohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.